Yo guys, time for another update. What's been happening the last 7 days with my brand. So not gonna sugarcoat it. This last week's performance has not been good and I've been feeling that mentally, having to look at those numbers. So we'll break this down into a few sections, and first of all, we'll start with marketing, which is connected to performance, since really an e-commerce business is pretty much marketing and product. So yeah, let's talk about marketing first of all. Last 7 days, like I said, performance has not been good. My CAC for the overall business, which is Shopify and Amazon, plus all the sales, all the advertising channels, has doubled since last week. And my CAC and my first time customer CAC on Shopify is like 20 to 25% increase in the last week as well, okay? Now, actually looking at the Facebook ads metrics, because that's where all the traffic is coming from, we have a little bit of spend on Google, but it's not been getting that huge amount of impressions this last week. Meta, the ads, the CPM is very stable, and the click-through rate is very stable as well, okay? Now, what this is telling me is that, well, the ads haven't really changed in how they're performing. If that CPM had increased, I'd be like, oh no, there's something wrong with the ads. But it hasn't, which leads me to believe that this, and this was my theory initially, is purely connected to the weather in the UK. So there was a heat wave that started last weekend in the UK. It's died down a bit now, but during the week is my lower period for ads, and the weekends are when my peak periods are, okay? So like that hurt us last weekend, and it's followed on a little bit this week too. It seems to be coming back now again, but it's still not hitting the target each day where I want it to be, okay? So this just comes from my experience. You know, I've worked with UK brands in the past, running ads for them. This is something that happens in the UK. Whenever there is a surge of hot weather, your sales are going to drop. And I still feel the stress in seeing the numbers, but having that experience gives me the reassurance that, okay, yeah, I know this is a pattern that plays out. This is something I've seen before. So I am hopeful that this weekend we'll get an increase in traffic. You know, people are still clicking. People are adding to cart now again, like at decent levels. So I'm hoping we get those conversions, because a lot of the conversions are coming from email as well. So like that's going to have a knock-on effect where it's going to take a couple more days to then see those people converting, but they're in my funnel and they're viewing that content, okay? So yeah, that's something that has happened, but I'm just going to sit out and look at it. The other thing is the CAC, the Shopify CAC and the Shopify first-time CAC are very similar. So again, it's another factor showing, well, it's not just your acquisition from the new customers, the actual current customers as well, that CAC is also increased, which again highlights that there's an external factor that's slowing people going and buying the product, okay? Because first-time customer and current customers, they're going to behave differently. You know, one's getting acquired by the acquisition channels, the other really is just being repeat purchase from your emails or from just their experience of the actual product. So that's that. The other thing is one-click upsell. I was looking to trial to try and increase the AOV by pushing some of my sleep masks that I've introduced to people who are purchasing the sleep supplements. However, because this week has been lower performance, I don't want to add more friction to people's conversion by having them to then go through the one-click upsell, decline that. So what I'm doing is I'm just leaving that off for now. If performance picks up, I will have that good performance over the weekend. I won't try and increase friction then. And then next week I will turn on the one-click upsell to see what is going on there, just to try and have a clean week with things, okay? And then the final thing is I got approached by people, as you always do when you're running ads. You get approached by lots of suppliers of different things, trying to pitch you stuff. And I got approached by someone who is like a health and wellness marketplace. Looks very clean, they've got some nice products on there. And the deal is like they just take a commission, but there's no actual fee on my end. So I think that's a good one for me to trial, since there's no negative to it. Another one did approach me, but they have a fee. So what I'll do is I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna get set up there, see if we get any traction. That's like an affiliate model, I guess, really. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. If that's something that's good, I'll maybe explore more stuff on the affiliate side. To this point, I've held off on doing affiliate stuff because one, I don't really know it, so it's a new world, which means there's gonna be cost involved in learning and mistakes and things. Even if I hire someone on, that's like a cost to do it like a freelancer. But two, I don't feel the product's in a place where I want to be cracking up that needle yet. I want to work on the product, which I'll cover in a minute, a bit more. And I feel like once that's something that's solid, that's when I'll be hitting affiliates and, you know, ensuring that I'm giving the best product to customers. To help with like spreading it in all these different places around the web and getting that good feedback from people, okay? So that was that one. The next thing would be product development. So just to like counter that as well, I do have a good product, people like it, people are returning. With the email marketing agency that I brought on board, previously I'm not using right now, but the flows they've adjusted, you know, the return customer rate is looking pretty good. But I did some surveying of my customers to look at how I will develop the product. Funnily enough, like that actual survey email is one of the best emails for revenue that I've ever run for email campaigns. So yeah, like survey your customers, it will make them buy more. I don't know, maybe it's just showing them that I'm committed to the brand or something. But yeah, so I ran a survey asking them like questions about how they'd like to see the form of the product, how they'd like to see different flavors if we kept the current form. Because I was considering moving it to capsules, but it seems like people like the fact it's a drink. And for me, that is good because a drink means I can have a stronger formula. Capsules would mean I have to adjust the formula, maybe split into two products. But yeah, people want the drink. That was my vision originally. And you know, the fact that that's won by the majority, I think, yeah, that is something that I'm just going to continue doing. But I also get the other question, you know, if we continue with the formula, do you want more flavors? What flavors would you like? And that, of course, is something that people have given their feedback on. There's clear flavors that they want as well. So I'm now going to begin the process of developing those flavors with my manufacturer. And for me, I want to do it right this time. Like previously with flavor development, I've tried to get family to taste it, and then I'd fly into the UK because I'm not there very often. I'd fly into the UK and try and do it. The last time I actually spent like 2 weeks in the UK, which is long for me in a single period. And you know, my supplier was slow in getting me the samples, and they ended up getting me the samples the day before I was meant to leave the UK, so I couldn't do like a revision. I just had to like accept what they'd given. They'd given me 3 choices and I picked the best of the 3 choices, which had a good positive effect. You know, people liked it a lot more than the previous flavorings, which was too sweet. This was less sweet, I guess, less sweetener in it, but it's too tart, and I do get some comments on that. And I think with a supplement brand, I've come to learn like flavor is super important. Yes, there's the efficacy of the product. Yes, there's the ingredients. I thought it'd be okay with a flavoring that was like, yeah, it's all right, it's, you know, it's palatable, it's not too bad, but people want something that tastes nice. They want to love the flavor. So I am going to be really trying to develop the flavorings. The current one being lemon. If people don't want the sweetness, it's very hard to make lemon like a nice flavor without being sweet. So I think we might even try and reduce the lemon to just make it a subtle lemon flavor. But yeah, that's something I'm going to work on. I think introducing the new flavors is really going to help. I don't think I'll say what those are right now, but they're more like naturally sweet flavors, which I think will help the people to basically enjoy it more as a flavoring. But a big part of that is I'm going to go back myself in the UK, and I'm going to base myself there for 2 months, you know, or as long as it takes to go through this flavor development process, revising the flavors until it's a flavor where it's super nice to drink every night, okay? And it takes all the things that people have told me in the past from the customers what they want, okay? Because originally I wanted to do very sweet. I wanted to do like almost like Moroccan tea, or what's the other one? Like Turkish tea. So Turkish tea is like apple, very sweet apple tea. Moroccan tea is like mint tea. It's very, very sweet again. That was my vision originally of the flavors. People, it seems in the UK, don't like that though. I have a sweet tooth. They don't want that type of flavor. They want very bland, mild flavorings. So that was just a natural progression that had to happen. And now I think when we go through that process, it's keeping that in mind, that they want more mild flavors. They don't want to taste stevia, which is the sweetener we use, so much. So that's something that I'm going to go and work on to try and get the flavors in a way that fits what people are looking for. My target demographic's a bit older as well, and I think, you know, that's part of their palate. Maybe the younger generation prefer more sweet things, okay? So that will be that one. The final thing really is the problems I'm facing right now. One, Amazon. Amazon are withholding my funds. They have been doing for like 2 or 3 weeks now. And basically it's all to do with proving business operations proving establishment as a UK business or something for VAT purposes. I won't go into the details because it's boring, but essentially it's hard me trying to prove to them or trying to give all the documents they want, because I live a nomadic lifestyle. So all my documents are approved for the business. The only thing is they're wanting to see some evidence that the business is operating in the UK, which is difficult because the business is operating in the UK, but because I don't have a residence in the UK where my name is on utilities, which is the form of proof they want. You know, I have UK bank accounts, which normally is fine for people to accept that you have a UK address and show that, you know, you're obviously UK. You know, I have all this, but Amazon specifically want utilities, which I don't have. So, and the business is my parents' house is like my Amazon registered address. So you've got to have your business registered address, but Amazon also want like a personal address, and that's my parents' one, where all my stuff is registered to anyway, just like as part of being in the UK. Because whenever I go back, I rent hotels. You can't really get Airbnb where I'm from, so I have to just live in a hotel or stay with family when I'm back. So yeah, I don't have these documents. Obviously, if I went to the UK for 2 months, I would have that. I would probably get somewhere to rent, and then that would be easier. But yeah, that's just the problem with Amazon right now. I've given them some things which I think might work. I gave them my parents' address and my birth certificate. So there's a support ticket on that right now. They've not, so it's been escalated to another level, and we'll see how that turns out. So I'm having fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'll be paying VAT to Amazon, or the value of VAT to Amazon, and all my revenue I've ever done on Amazon, which is crazy just in itself. Plus, obviously, I'll have to pay that to HMRC in the UK. So I'll be getting charged on double ends. If that situation happens, I will be stopping selling on Amazon. You know, I'll have to pay it because there's nothing you can do. They're the big fish and you have no power. But that for me would be the final straw of Amazon, and I'll definitely, even if it will be giving me a lower conversion rate because not everyone trusts Shopify, you can't be losing that money into thin air. It'll be off Amazon for sure. And then the other problem, which one that might get solved and actually will be a big FU to Amazon, and I think for lots of people, is TikTok Shop. So TikTok Shop, I still have not been approved for the specialist category. So my sleep masks are on TikTok Shop now, but my actual supplement, which is the better thing to have on TikTok Shop, the more lucrative thing for creators, is not approved still. I know exactly why it is now. It's a BS reason. And again, it's not like a legal requirement, it's a TikTok thing. But I've basically done what they've wanted now. And I'm hoping that gets approved. I've got another, I've submitted it in again. I went for a whole support ticket this week found out the proper reasoning, and then I've put in a new submission of a support ticket. So I'm hoping that this week, maybe even today, maybe this weekend, who knows what hours they work, that will be approved and we can get on TikTok Shop. If it's not approved, at least I know the reason now, and I can probably try and get other stuff to get it approved, which may just cost a little bit of money, but yeah, that's good enough that we'll get that through. And for me, that looks like the biggest opportunity. You know, the thing I struggle with is content. If I can get TikTok Shop giving me content, and also, you know, for me, that's very low CPA. I just have to give them, as the affiliates, a big commission, which I'll give them. You know, I don't need to give them a big commission, but I want to give them a big commission because that's the benefit of supplement brand. You make your money on the repeat sales. So I can give a big fat commission to creators on TikTok. It's a big incentive for them. They'll make content, you know, I can get a lot more brand awareness, but that's also content that I then have for Meta, which is really where the power comes, because yeah, I don't think TikTok Shop is like, you need to have Meta to scale a brand, but for me, the thing I struggle with is content. I'm now making the content myself to save on cost, but also because that works the best. And now, until we can scale the brand, I don't want to invest the money into content. There's other things money can go into. But yeah, that's just on autopilot because other people are doing it and there's more variety. That is obviously going to help me, okay? So yeah, that's really the update for this week. Next week is just going to be watching that performance, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, the heat wave stuff has stopped messing us up. We start to get those sales in. I get on TikTok Shop, I'm making money there. But I think TikTok Shop as well, I'll have to explore that. I don't think people will start just taking your product straight away. I think there's a science of getting a VA to then go and approach people and say, hey, do you want to advertise our product? Here's a commission. So that's something I'll need to learn about, look into. If anyone watches this, that they don't really watch it yet, but if they do and they have experience of that, leave in the comments some advice about TikTok Shop. That would be helpful. But yeah, until the next one, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you very soon.